right, welcome to Ready, Set, Jets. Every week we take a deep dive into the most recent Jets press conferences and analyze every word, every pause, every hidden message. For that, we turn to a 10-year NFL vet, former Jets quarterback, and analyst on Jets Late Night, Jay Fiedler. Jay, we got a lot to break down here today because there's a lot to try to dissect in a season that has kind of gone awry. And now, you know, we kind of turn to, I guess, the next chapter of the season, which most teams have to endure at this point of the year. But I think the big story here is with what happened with Aaron Rodgers. Activated for the Jets. Of course, he will not play this year. He will only practice with the team for the rest of the season. And this week, he says he plans to play 2 more years for the Jets. Connor Hughes of SNY asked Coach Saleh how aggressive the Jets expect to be in this win-now window.
We're always going to be as aggressive as can be, and you know, thankfully we do have a tremendous owner who has been willing to push the envelope as far as we can, and you know, we've got to be smart and got to make sure we're doing the right things, but we want to win a championship. We believe we can win a championship, and I know he said 2 years, but in a perfect situation, we win a championship next year, and he walks off in the sunlight, you know. No, but you get the point. I think he's going to play until his wheels fall off. I don't think it's 1, 2. I think he'll go 3, 4, 5 if he can. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about next year, because it's not often you can say a 5-win team is close to being a contender. But given the magnitude of the injuries that they suffered this year, how likely is it that this is a team next year that we expected to see this year?
Well, look, there's definitely a chance at that. You know, certainly they got a lot of pieces in place. The defense has been solid all year. They've carried the team just like they did last year. And you know, I don't see, you know, too much turnover on the defensive side. You know, maybe a little bit of D-line ins and outs from that, but the core of the defense is going to stay intact. So you know, you're coming back with a top 5 defense in the league. That bodes very well for a championship run. And then you're bringing back a 4-time MVP quarterback, which also bodes well. Where they're going to have to, you know, find some areas to improve on. Obviously, the offensive line, they need to nail that down. You know, whether it's getting new guys in, whether it's staying healthy, you know, getting some consistency up front. That's going to have to happen no matter who's at quarterback. You know, you need to protect your 40-year-old MVP guy back there. And then I think they just need to fill in with another receiving threat on the outside to take some pressure off of Garrett Wilson in the passing game. You know, whether it be another tight end, high caliber tight end, or another you know, top receiver on the outside.
Which is crazy because they've allocated the 6th most money in the NFL towards tight ends this year for the Jets. So we might see some restructuring of the tight end room as well. But this week is the week that the Jets were officially eliminated from the playoff race with 3 games left to go in the season. The momentum shifts from this season-long goal of the playoffs to finishing on a high note. Antoine Staley, the New York Daily News, asked Coach Saleh what he can do as a coach to get these guys ready for the final games.
At the end of the day, everyone gets it, from coaches to players. As coaches, you're putting your best game plan together, and everyone's watching. And as players, 32 teams or 31 teams, other teams are getting that tape. So, you know, it's always your resume, and it's not necessarily a threat, but it's understood that you are what your tape says you are. And I know that at the end of the day, if your brother's going out there to sacrifice and play his tail off, then the expectation is you do it for him and you do it for one another. But that's the cool thing about this group is I do think they'll continue to go out there and fight like they have all year.
Is this when you find out what's really inside a guy, when the ring is no longer within reach, when it's about pride and professionalism and the idea of the love of competition as the prime motivator?
Yeah, well, look, if you get to this point in your lifetime that you're a professional football player, you got there because you love the game. You love going out there and practicing. You love going out there and playing and working hard and bettering yourself day in and day out. And that doesn't just turn off when the chance of being in the playoffs is over. You know, guys still love to go out and play. They still love to hit. They still love to run and catch and throw and do all the things that we did as kids. And you're getting paid for it. That's an added bonus. So you know, I expect to see you know, all the Jets come out and play hard and play fast. You know, yeah, is there a tendency? Is there a little bit of a hesitancy to put that extra work in? You know, when your season is you know, over in a few weeks.
Sure.
You know, that definitely comes into play. But when you, like Coach Saleh said, when you get into the locker room, when you get into the meeting rooms and you see the other guys out there, you know, you still want to put that extra work in for those guys and for the collective team.
It is a different feel, but they still step on the field the same way. Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the field with the team the rest of the way in practice. So what effect is that actually going to have on the players? Hear what Breece Hall says about that next on Ready, Set, Jets. Aaron Rodgers has not been an absentee superstar. Even though he was injured this year, he's been back in New York with the team for more than a month and now practicing every day after a record return from an Achilles surgery. Breece Hall was asked of the impact of Rodgers on the field.
Watching the way he works, for sure, but all quarterbacks are a little bit lazy because they never have to do anything other than throw at practice and stuff. So, but just him sharing some knowledge and stuff with me and pre-snap stuff that I could always look for, I definitely appreciate him for that.
Okay, wait, I don't want to throw this away here, Jay.
I was going to say, I take a little offense to that, Breece.
You know, he had a little bit of a grin on his face, you know, when he said it. But there was a hint of tension. He wanted to throw a little jab at QBs there.
Oh, there was definitely a little needling right there from Breece Hall. And you know what? That's actually great to hear and great to see, you know, that Aaron Rodgers is really connecting with these guys. You know, that Breece could come out and make a joke about him. And, you know, I hope he wasn't serious about talking about lazy quarterbacks. So
you might have to deal with Jay.
You know, hey, look, we wear the red shirts. We don't get hit in practice. I get it. But, you know, but we're definitely not lazy out there in practice.
Yeah. I mean, it's more than just motivational to have him out there on the field, Aaron Rodgers out there on the field, right? There's a meaning to him being out there.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, having him there and having that extra voice for all the young guys, you know, having a guy that knows, you know, how to go through a week of practice. You know, they haven't really seen it from Aaron. He hasn't been around all season. Obviously, they went through training camp with him, and they saw his work ethic there and through some of the off-season stuff. But you know, they haven't really seen him go in and prepare for a week. And you know, when you get a veteran that has been there, has done that, and is able to share that knowledge of how to prepare, you know, that can carry over, and that can help, you know, a lot of these young guys in the locker room.
You know, and chemistry means so much to these teams, and to have that kind of veteran leadership, as you said, to show them the way, to show them how to be a professional, even when the season is lost, I think is going to be, you know, paramount importance, not only for this year, but for next year as well. All right, speaking of next year, we're back to hear what Coach Saleh's message to the fans regarding next year is. This is Ready, Set, Jets. All right, so the Jets came into the season as the fourth favorite to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That is the expectation for next season as well. So here's how Coach Saleh responded to a question about the fan expectations for 2024.
Healthy Rodgers, healthy O-line, get that thing fixed too. And, you know, the excitement in August of 2023 was real. The excitement of everyone coming out of the tunnel on September 11th was real. And it's unfortunate the way the season panned out, but with that excitement, we'll have that excitement again. And the expectation for me, and I'll speak for everybody around here, is that we win, and I do believe we will.
All right, so the Jets currently have the 7th pick. They're likely going to have a top 10 pick by the end of the day. That guy's going to help them, certainly. They're going to have money to spend this offseason. Will all of that get this team right, Jay?
Well, look, there's certainly a possibility. Like we talked before, there are a few areas that they definitely need to improve on, that they definitely need help through the offseason and shoring up. We touched base on that, and Coach Saleh knows that the offensive line has been the weak spot all year long. And then an added threat on the outside in the passing game will definitely take this team to a new level. Of course, with Aaron Rodgers coming back. And the other thing to look at is, you don't really see any of the AFC teams really running away with with the conference. There's a lot of parity. There's no, even within the division. The Dolphins certainly beat them up last week, and they're going to be the favorite going into next season. But they're a team that has struggled against some tougher teams as well. So, with a fully stocked Jets team, with Aaron Rodgers back, with retooling on the O-line and in the passing threat on the outside, there's certainly a great chance that they can make a run. And I'd like to see excitement in December rather than in August, but there's a good possibility that will happen next year.
Well, you know what? As they said last week, you meet speed with force, and the Jets defense definitely brings that force. And now next year, the expectations is the offense will have that speed and will be able to match them from the point standpoint as well. Jay, great breaking things down once again. The Jets fans, of course, are focused on 24 after Rodgers spoke. But don't forget, there's still 3 weeks left to go in this season. That means 3 more Jets late night as well. That includes this Sunday. Jay and I are going to be in studio. He'll be at the Big Wall breaking down a couple of big plays from the Jets-Commanders game. And Otis Livingston will have interviews with the players from the locker room. Jets late night Sunday after the late news. And we'll be back next week as well to break down all of the interviews. Thanks for watching. Ready, Set, Jets.